There is no doubt that IKEA is a sales giant. Just in 2019 alone, they raked up $45.5 billion. They've dominated the furniture industry for so long that every time I see one of these like silver Allen wrenches, I get so triggered because it reminds me of how many countless hours I've spent assembling furniture. God, I hate these. But when, where, and how did the IKEA empire get started? Let's go back to the beginning, to a small farm in Sweden, where 6-year-old Ingvar Kamprad started his career selling matches. By age 10, he was riding his bike through the neighborhood, selling fish, pencils, and even Christmas trees. Then in 1943, at 17 years old, he used the money that his father gave him and started IKEA. It was a simple storefront selling stuff that you might see someone hawking on the street corner. Wallets, pens, and picture frames. The name IKEA actually comes from his initials combined with Elmtard and Angonardard. I cannot pronounce that, but it's the rural farm region where he grew up. So he basically combined his initials with the place he grew up with. He began selling furniture by local artisans and delivering it with milk trucks. It wasn't long after that where he decided to sell his own affordable furniture. But he hit a wall when the manufacturers protested his low prices. So he started designing everything in-house. He opened up his own warehouse and handled the design process. Everything was handled by himself. That was the beginning of something never before seen. But what made Ingvar's little furniture store so different? Well, his storefront became more of a showroom where customers could actually try before they bought it. It soon became apparent that shipping his furniture to customers in nearby towns was really expensive. Furniture is naturally a bulky item that isn't really made for a traditional square box. You end up needing extra space and larger boxes to ship it. So you're essentially paying for this extra space that the furniture actually doesn't take up. So it's air. You're paying for air. Ingvar figured out a way to change all that. He revolutionized the furniture industry with a simple concept: the flat pack. Flat pack furniture, also known as ready to assemble furniture, is made in flat parts that customers are able to assemble themselves with minimal tools. It didn't stop there. Ingvar's simple roots, where life was all about smart living and thrifty ideas, inspired his idea of good function and design at low prices. The town where they were first located was remote and they lacked the ability to reach people in the bigger cities. Hence, the first IKEA catalog was born in 1951. But wait, that being said, how can they possibly make furniture that is so cheap? The flat pack brought down transportation costs for IKEA, saving both them and their customers money. And we certainly can't forget to mention the labor costs that were saved by having customers put it together themselves. Thanks, Ingvar. But Ingvar went above and beyond his flat boxes. He based his furniture designs on the Scandinavian aesthetic, which is all about form and function, simple design with little to no decoration. Sorry, Liberace. His designs were not only appealing to a wide market, but could be mass-produced at a minimal cost, offering most of their furniture in only 3 finishes: white, black, and the most well-known, their unfinished blonde wood. Cut down costs even more. He chose to use basic, affordable materials like particle board in their construction. IKEA celebrates what they refer to as democratic design, a term used to describe the balance between quality, form, and function, all while being sustainable and at a low cost.
We believe we need to rethink. We need to rethink how we plan cities and home. Otherwise, they will become increasingly unaffordable, increasingly unsustainable, and also socially unequal for all the people who wish to live in cities.
This, paired down with their minimal aesthetic, took Ingvar's designs to the next level. So if you've been into any IKEA store, you know they have like this maze design. So what's up with that maze? And I think I figured it out, because no matter why I go to IKEA for, whether I need a bed frame or just like a nightstand, I end up getting a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have the budget for. Plus, my favorite part about IKEA is that I can fill my stomach with their balls. I'm talking about their Swedish meatballs. Is there really something behind that giant's rat maze full of perfectly decorated little rooms and huge containers full of items that make you think you're in the back of a Walmart in the clearance bin? Yes, of course. All right, welcome to Los Angeles, where the loudest fucking motorcycles exist. They fucking hate LA. Anyways, yes, of course, IKEA uses psychology in their design, and it tricks your brain. Our brains love seeing that little table with the couch, the perfectly constructed little room with the obscene fluffy throw pillows in their natural environment. It gives us a sense of familiarity, things we've already seen in our house. So our brains relax, let their guard down, and we look at things and we're like, we gotta have that now. The whole concept is super simple, and we like simple things. It's super uncomplicated. You can kind of picture exactly what it would look like in your room, or at least pretend that your room is as nicely decorated as their mock rooms. Nonetheless, we're drawn throughout the store, discovering more and more, being pulled end to end by those little arrows on the floor telling you where to go. We're doing exactly what they want us to do, and we see everything, and we want to buy everything. Ingvar believed that you can't do business on an empty stomach. So it's no trick that the halfway point is a restaurant enticing you with the smell of delicious food. Or that as you're handing over the money, you are hit with the sweet smell of gooey cinnamon rolls. It gives you that delicious dope of dopamine and sugar rush saying, who cares how much money I spend? Yeah, I spent $460 on an end table and I'm fine with it because I just bought $1 cinnamon rolls.
Almost 20% of our buying decisions are based on logic and needs. 80% of our buying decisions are actually based on emotions, and we try to make that connection or bridge that connection. Of course, we are retailers, so we try to make sure that you grab a thing or two.
You made it through the first part of the rat maze, and now you can refuel and hit up the second half, ready to shop and grab those famous flat packs. All that is topped off in a sweet finish, leaving the store, chomping on that cinnamon roll, staring at the long ass receipt. Now for IKEA, that's their happy ending. Now, how has IKEA remained so strong? IKEA grew like wildfire in just a short time, expanding beyond the Swedish little town, across Europe, into every corner of the world. As of today, IKEA has about 445 stores worldwide and counting. From the very beginning, Ingvar had a keen business strategy and just focused on smart business decisions, obviously. He was able to avoid the costs that bogged down other retailers, helping to keep the company out of long-term debt and just to continue their insane growth rate. Because they're not a publicly traded company, they can make these decisions on their own. They don't really have any outside pressure from board members or anybody, and that really gave them a sense of independence. IKEA is also the kind of company that wants to make a positive impact in the world. They have a whole bunch of initiatives to help the environment and just minimize their carbon footprint. And as of one of the largest users of wood in the retail sector, they decided to purchase 11,000 acres of land in southeast Georgia to help protect local ecosystems. Only a small part of that land will be used to provide a renewable source of wood for their products.
In addition to phasing out single-use plastic products, we want to turn plastic waste into a material for the future.
IKEA has remained the world's largest furniture retailer since 2008. Part of what has helped them stay there is embracing and discovering new technologies. Their strategic investments in technology initially resulted in losses, but those losses barely left a dent in their overall profits. It began in 2015 with Space 10, their innovation lab with the goal of further developing sustainable living. In 2016, they jumped into the world of smart home, designing sought-after energy-saving lighting and wireless speakers. From there came the acquisition of online labor marketplace TaskRabbit in 2017. That helped solve the customers' problems with at-home assembly. So thankfully, if you don't want to deal with those pesky Allen wrenches, you can just go ahead and choose TaskRabbit. They also developed their own augmented reality app that allows people to see their furniture in their own rooms without having to leave their house. The reason for the change is to be more appealing to their customers, so by offering services like that and products that align with their lifestyles, they can make an easier decision. They continue to embrace the digital world by killing off its iconic printed catalog, where it all started, and gave us one last digital version for 2021. In the months and years ahead, IKEA will be diving into other tech ventures such as zero-emission delivery fleet, mobile showrooms, and self-driving cars. So sadly, in 2018, Ingvar passed away, but up until then, he continued his frugal lifestyle, staying in cheap hotels, flying coach, driving the same old Volvo, even though he was a billionaire. But he was always a stand-up guy and was even famously known for referring to his employees as co-workers. What a guy. There seems to be no doubt that the foundation that he laid and the values that he held dear will continue to push the company forward in the years to come. Ingvar's little shop became the success story many only dream of. IKEA has grown from a small little single storefront to a furniture giant, an innovator in consumer psychology, sustainable living, as well as product design and packaging. On that note, I'm gonna package my way out. Terrible pun, unsubscribe. But if you did enjoy this video, I make weird videos like this every single week, so make sure to like and subscribe. See you soon, love you guys like a headache.